After this lady drove into this bridge, police are still trying to investigate and find the artist who drew this. It's literally from the Roadrunner and Coyote cartoon. By the way, the Roadrunner is literally running across the road. I'm not too sure if she tried hitting it. The woman ended up totaling her car, but I can't even lie, guys. She fell for the oldest trick in the book.
Welcome back, fam. Before the video starts, I just want to thank all of my channel members for the support.
After this lady drove into this bridge, police are still trying to investigate and find the artist who drew this. It's literally from the Roadrunner and Coyote cartoon. By the way, the Roadrunner is literally running across the road. I'm not too sure if she tried hitting it. The woman ended up totaling her car, but I can't even lie, guys. She fell for the oldest trick in the book.
Yo, that's crazy. To me, it looks like insurance fraud. That's the best thing I could say, because there is no way you would fall for this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could see the road right here with actual cars, but then you're gonna go off into the gravel to try to go onto another road. That doesn't even make no sense.
One of the most well-known fitness YouTubers, Connor Murphy, was found dead yesterday in Thailand. And this was the state in which police found his home. You see, Connor was one of the biggest fitness figures online after blowing up on YouTube around 2016 with his shirtless public prank videos, some of which got over 60 million views. But around 2020, everything changed. After an ayahuasca ceremony, he started acting very differently. He started deleting videos. He started saying things like he was God. He did a 40-day water fast, losing a whole bunch of weight. He faked his own death on camera, and he was even placed in psychiatric holds more than a dozen times. And while some were seriously concerned for his mental health, others, including himself a few years later, said that all of this erratic behavior was one giant performance.
It's a persona I created for my social media endeavors.
But that is what makes yesterday's events so disturbing. Thailand's biggest newspaper published a headline last night reading, "American man goes on rampage, painting luxury rental home worth $500,000, then runs into village lake and dies." Now, they report that around 3 in the afternoon, police were called to a luxury housing estate outside of Bangkok after reports of a foreign man acting erratically, shouting in the street, rolling on the floor, and trying to pay passing cars to give him a lift. But when police arrived, they said that he ran into the estate's lake, swam until he was exhausted, and went under. Around 30 minutes later, a video, which we won't include in here, shows divers pulling Connor's lifeless body out of the water and into a boat. Now, when police entered the home that he was renting, the entire property, furniture, walls, appliances, everything was covered in this black and yellow paint. Connor's girlfriend of 3 years, only identified as B, claimed that he was acting completely normal before this incident, and claimed that he had never shown similar behavior before or experienced any known mental health problems. And while she said that she had never seen him use drugs, investigators later found unused syringes in his car and unidentified pills in his bag. And his official cause of death will only be known after a toxicology report and an autopsy. So of course, as we know more, I'll keep you guys updated.
There's a key word that he just said that I'm about to explain to you guys from what I've heard about this situation. So I have heard that this dude was injecting himself with liquid gold. I don't know if you guys know what liquid gold is. I mean, you probably do. It's literally in the name. It's pretty much the liquid version of gold. For those who don't know, surprisingly, gold is a solid. So he would melt it down into a liquid, then inject himself, because he believed that gold would give you superhuman abilities. So I'm pretty sure it was like for 30 days or for like an extended period of time, he started to inject himself with gold, and then it just ruined his mental health over time. This is a statement from one of his friends. I'm going to see if I can find the exact statement that I saw online to try to put in the video right now.
As Connor Murphy's good friend, I want to come out and speak about what actually happened to him. When I was staying with him in May in Thailand, he started to talk about how he has this theory that gold is some gate-kept mineral by the higher-ups that allows you to tap into higher levels of consciousness and other dimensions if you ingest it. Weeks later, when I'm no longer in Thailand, he gets back on this narrative and he starts melting gold jewelry and injecting it. And shortly after, he started to claim that it was giving him superhuman abilities. Larger field of view, superhuman athleticism, vision, cognition, all of this kind of stuff. And within a matter of weeks, according to his close friends, he basically descended into madness. And he was just painting on the walls of his rental house with gold. He was taking some substances. It got to the point where he was completely running amok in his neighborhood and the cops were called, and he ran away from the cops into the lake, and whatever happened, happened. A lot of the time, Connor certainly towed that line between eccentricity and pure insanity. And unfortunately, he was on the wrong side of it at the end. May he rest in peace.
Does everybody know about the entire "they're spraying chemicals in the sky" thing? Because it just became an actual law in multiple different states. So in Florida, every single airport now has to report any plane secretly rigged to spray chemicals, and if they're caught doing it, it is now a $100,000 fine and 5 years in jail. Multiple states have already banned this, 30 more are trying to do it right now, and there's even a push to make this a federal felony.
Law that bans people from trying to modify the weather in Florida.
This whole thing blew up and became a thing after the Texas floods because everybody was blaming a cloud seeding company for causing them even though there's zero proof. And now people are convinced that the government's been steering hurricanes this entire time. While most states are trying to ban this right now, Utah is running one of the biggest cloud seeding programs on the entire planet, and they've got 190 machines shooting chemicals into storms to make it snow. And it's totally legal. Then a government report just confessed that nobody's actually tracking who's been modifying the weather, and over half of the reports that they do get are apparently wrong. 4 different reports have already admitted to messing with the sunlight, and then there's 1,000 more projects on record right now that they're saying they barely know anything about. So what's going on?
Yeah, chat, we've been saying this for a minute. They have been manipulating the weather, the air quality in front of our faces. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I mean, I don't necessarily think it's just always the government that's doing it. It could be private companies that's doing it. For example, I've always talked about, like, it'd be weird if, for example, Donald Trump is like, yo, spray the sky with chemicals. They go spray the sky with chemicals. He's also breathing in the same chemicals, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we're in one earth, so we're all under one roof. And if he sprayed chemicals in the air, there's a chance that he would also be ingesting, inhaling those same chemicals that he's telling people to spray. You know what I'm saying? So I don't necessarily believe it's fully the government. It could be private companies, could be public companies. You never really know.
CIA made a fake brothel, and they put an obese drug addict piece of shit in charge of it.
Wow.
Prostitutes in San Francisco would lure in Johns from local bars, bring them into the brothel, and then slip LSD into their drinks. The men unknowingly were part of an experiment. The walls were lined with two-way mirrors, and behind those mirrors were agents watching the experiment play out. It was called Operation Midnight Climax. George Hunter White was the man who ran the show, an ex-narcotics officer turned CIA agent. He would regularly drink a pitcher of martinis while he would observe all night. After sex, the prostitutes were instructed to interrogate the men and try to manipulate them. White and his team would take meticulous notes. They were testing how LSD could be weaponized for interrogation and mind control. This operation was under the umbrella of MKUltra, where dozens of projects like this were taking place all over the country. But over time it became clear George wasn't collecting any valuable data. Instead, he was using whatever drugs he could get his hands on. He loved heroin and cocaine, and it was an open secret among the agency. The CIA's internal personality tests also flagged White as a sadist, someone who derives pleasure from causing others physical or psychological suffering. The experiment became a playground for White to play out his sick fantasies. A government-funded peep show while he sat behind a two-way mirror drinking martinis and doing drugs all night. After a decade of this, they shut the project down with no material discoveries to speak of. White then retired in Stinson Beach, California. Shortly before he died, he wrote a letter to his old boss reminiscing about his time at the CIA, where he said, "Where else could a red-blooded American boy kill, cheat, steal, rape, and pillage with the sanction and blessing of the All-Highest?"
Wildfire smoke is making Americans seriously sick, with scientists warning that the health effects are way worse than expected, as it does these insane things to the human body. Nearly half of the United States, stretching from Michigan to New York, has become engulfed by thick, heavy smoke blown down from the massive Canadian wildfires. This not only has turned the skies orange, but is also creating severe health risks for millions of Americans, because researchers found that this wildfire smoke contains massive amounts of what is called PM 2.5, fine particulate matter, which simplified is tiny solid particles mixed in with chemical toxins originating from burnt trees, residential homes, vehicles, etc. And when humans breathe in the smoke, these PM 2.5 particles travel deep into our lungs, where they then pass on through to our bloodstreams, causing critical cardiovascular problems, respiratory complications, and dangerous blood clots that leads to tens of thousands of premature deaths per year.
Yeah, for those who are in like the northeast side of the United States, last week looked like a zombie apocalypse. Like, it looks orange as hell. I was like, what is going on? And I feel like once a year we get this like zombie apocalypse themed like look. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what it is. Like, maybe for like the last 3 to 5 years, it's like at least once a year we get these Canadian wildfires. It's kind of strange.
While conspiracy theorists insist no 30-06 could possibly behave this way, the round blasted into Charlie Kirk's neck, crushed his vertebra and ricocheted downward toward his heart, only to be stopped dead by his legendary Superman neck of super-dense steel-like bone. It created no exit wound and lodged harmlessly just beneath the skin, which experts hailed as a miracle that saved the bystanders standing behind him. Up on the rooftop, Tyler Robinson didn't just break down his rifle. He shredded it apart in a ridiculous hyperspeed blur using nothing but his bare hands. Then he sprinted across the roof and launched himself off the edge with expert parkour precision. Tyler made the conscious expert decision to reassemble his rifle one last time and place it under a tree in a bush. He then changed back into his blue jeans and maroon t-shirt in hyperspeed. Time for ice cream.
I genuinely can't tell anymore if we as a species are becoming more stupid or worse.
You would have to be blind to deny that Ariana Grande needs help at this point. This is a picture of her leaving Whole Foods a couple days ago. As you can probably tell, she does not look like herself. Here is her most recent picture, directly taken from her IG. If you truly think that she's fine, she's okay, you don't care about her. You just don't care about her. You genuinely cannot be her fan and also defend this.
I mean, I think she probably has an eating disorder. I mean, that's basically what I can narrow it down to. The only other explanation, in my opinion, was because she wanted to play the role in Wicked. Like, she was in a movie called Wicked, I'm pretty sure you guys know, and she had to be skinny for the role, so then she got to that body weight and now she hasn't really recovered. So I'm just assuming she either has an eating disorder or she just had to maintain that weight for that role. Flesh eating bacteria at beaches.
The ocean is warming up so fast right now that there is a flesh eating bacteria that used to only live down in Florida, but it's now officially spreading up the coast. So this scientist at Stony Brook just confirmed that this flesh-eating bacteria is in the water near Long Island and a couple of the ponds near the Hamptons. They're saying that it has now shown up in multiple different spots, and this bacteria usually lives in the warm water of the Gulf, so it's basically never been this far up north before. They've reported that it's been creeping up the Atlantic coast about 30 miles every single year as the ocean keeps warming, but it's already hit Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Cape Cod. Long Island is just the newest spot on the list. You don't get it from drinking the water, it gets in through a cut or a fresh tattoo while you're in warm water, or from eating raw shellfish like oysters. And this bacteria is really serious because only about 1 in 5 people who get infected actually make it. The Southampton town trustees put out an advisory over this, but they haven't closed any of the beaches. Is going outside safe at all at this point?
Keeping it 100% with you guys, please. We as a society honestly should stop eating raw seafood. I feel like raw seafood is one of the worst things you could put into your body, only because in the ocean, it's, you know what I'm saying, it's kind of dirty. Like, there's parasites, there's all types of bacterium that we don't know about. So like, it's a situation where, like, if you're gonna eat seafood, at least cook it, you know what I'm saying? At least smoke it, at least cook it like a little bit, warm it up or something.
Engineers just found cracks inside the world's largest passenger plane that are invisible to the human eye. The plane is the Airbus A380, and this story actually starts with a weird discovery back in 2023. Airbus noticed that A380s that were sitting in storage were developing wing cracks faster than those that were flying every single day. And the cause was something called hydrogen embrittlement. Basically, heat and moisture allow hydrogen to seep into the aluminum during storage, making it more brittle and prone to cracking even with zero stress on it. And that finding kicked off an entirely new round of inspection rules. And then in December of last year, regulators went a step further and ordered inspections on the wing midspar, which is the main structural beam that runs the entire length of the wing. Those inspections ran through this year, and that's when they found something. They found cracks on the midspar on a specific group of jets that all shared the same production and storage history. So earlier this week, the European Union Aviation Safety Agency issued an emergency directive requiring urgent inspections of 16 A380s. 15 of them are from Emirates and 1 of them is from Qantas, and 5 of them are not allowed to fly until they are cleared, and the other 11 have to do inspections within 25 flights. And the craziest craziest part about this to me is that these cracks are completely invisible to the human eye. So in order for investigators to find them, they have to use eddy current and ultrasonic testing, which sends electrical signals or sound waves through the metal. And if that signal hits something, that tells them that there is a crack there. And interestingly, this is actually not the first time that the A380's wings have caused a scare. Back in 2012, a totally different issue caused inspections across the entire global fleet. But despite this, the A380 has never had a hull loss in its entire history. It has been in operation since 2007 and has completed over 7 million flight hours across over 800,000 flights. But yeah, it's just super interesting to me to be alive during this time of aviation because we just have so much technology even compared to just 30 years ago.
100%. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say to you guys, bro. Aviation has been the safest it's ever been. Like, I know that we've been hearing about a lot of plane crashes in 2026, parts of 2025, but at the end of the day, we are so highly technologically advanced that even things that we can't see on the plane, we can pick up through devices. You know what I'm saying? Like, they picked up on those cracks, and if we were looking through the plane window, we wouldn't be able to see it.
TikTok has officially added a warning onto every single one of James Charles' videos to let everyone know how terrible of a person he is.
That's crazy.
Trust me, I am not kidding. Here's what the exact warning looks like. It's a very long paragraph, and in this warning, it literally tells you exactly why James Charles is so hated, and it goes through all the terrible things that James Charles has done. I feel like this is a genius idea. Like I said, it's starting to be put on every single one of James Charles' videos, so anytime you see a James Charles video, that warning will likely be on it. And if it's not on it, I'm sure it will probably take, a couple days to be put on a new video or something like that. Shout out to TikTok for adding a feature like that because I feel like that is extremely helpful for people that are unaware of the things James Charles has done and, people discovering James Charles for the very first time that will see that warning on his video and they could read it and realize, wow, James Charles is not the best person and maybe I should not be watching his content. So yeah, definitely pretty interesting, that is for sure, and I'm just really curious to know your thoughts about all of this.
Okay guys, pretty crazy news. Trump has just left instructions in case he is assassinated by Iran. But what makes this interesting is that this is not even the first time he's spoken about this subject in the past few days. So 2 days ago at the NATO summit, he said that he's #1 on the kill list for Iran and that he might be gone. The next day, the Wall Street Journal, they report that Israel had recently shared intelligence with the US indicating that Iran had developed a fresh new assassination plot targeting Trump. And then today, he told the New York Post that he's left instructions to literally bomb the hell out of Iran at levels they've never seen before if they somehow succeed in killing him. And then he joked, "I hope you'll miss me." And how do we know that Iran actually wants him dead? Well, they didn't beat around the bush at all. This was literally one of the signs they held up in the last few days at the burial site of Iran's late supreme leader, and this one as well. So, yeah. Pretty wild stuff.
Remember these corn pop commercials? They were hand puppeted stop motion commercials that debuted around the mid to late 2000s, advertising the Kellogg's cereal. And each commercial followed the same simple format, where the cereal pieces did an activity followed by a tragic accident that got them eaten. And this could range from attacking spoons, hungry hands, and the iconic chins, which is probably what you remember the most from these commercials. The one where the chin eats the pops as they all panic, breaking stuff and running into things is the most nostalgic commercial for me. And there were other cool commercials too, like the spooning that had the Pops character being attacked by a horde of hungry zombies, and there was a commercial where the pieces got abducted by cereal bowl UFOs. This level of effort in marketing just isn't around anymore, which is a shame as these commercials were fun and imaginative. Kellogg's would follow these up with a short run of doodle ads around 2014 that were just lackluster in comparison, with seemingly no new commercials in the last 10 years to advertise the cereal. And do you still eat the Pops cereal?
I do remember seeing those commercials when I was just like a lot younger. Yeah, they definitely don't make commercials like that no more. Commercials are usually short to the point. There's no more creative and fun energy about it. So that's probably why like majority of people don't really eat stuff like that. Like I don't remember the last time I heard about Pop cereal.
You ever wonder how many ingredients are actually in a Whopper from Burger King? It's a lot more than you think. Even the bun has a long list of ingredients. It's made with preservatives, conditioners, and other additives to keep it looking and tasting the same. A single Whopper has around 85 ingredients once you count everything. That's a whole lot more than just beef, lettuce, and a bun. You don't care though, right? Some of the ingredients sound more like something you'd find in a science lab than in a burger. Most people have never even heard of them. You think those are doing your body any good? Every part of the Whopper adds to the list. The bun, the sauce, the pickles, the cheese. It all starts adding up fast. By the time it's finished, you're eating a burger made from around 85 different ingredients. Wow. A lot more than most people would ever guess, right? So, after seeing how many ingredients are packed into one Whopper, are you still pulling up to Burger King?
You're already infected.
My biggest concern is, why do they always feel the need to add so many ingredients? But then I just remember, it's like the preservatives, like they just need to get as much profit as possible. They want to preserve the sandwich as much as possible. They don't really want to lose money. So it does make sense in that aspect, but in the health aspect, it's never like consumable. You know what I'm saying? It's not something you should consume. Like, why are you consuming something with 85 ingredients when in reality a burger should technically be like 8 ingredients maximum, you know?
The Malaysian airline flight that went missing? Yeah, it's why there's more. You know what they found out? There's 3 people on that plane that ended up, and they recently tracked down what they were connected to, and it's all about microchips. 3 people, they were connected to a patent for a microchip. Yeah. That Malaysian airline flight obviously crashed, but went missing. It was missing for so long. After they found that they were dead, 3 days later, the microchip patent was bought by the Rothschild family. No, man. You know the exact name of it? The inventors are Pirong Wang, Zijun Chen, and Ziyong Chen, and Liang. They were the people that owned the patent for this use of microchips, right? And they were all on the flight. This is the patent itself. Oh my god, you guys, what the hell do you find? So the patent was bought by Jacob Rothschild, and it ended up becoming called the Jacob Rothschild link. Wow. Crash happened 3 days after. Boom, Rothschild, one of the biggest, richest families pretty much ever, now on the patent. Microchip. Yeah. What could they possibly do with a microchip though?
New evidence has just come out in the Nolan Wells case that proves that he was murdered by those 3 men. There was a pool party that took place after the island, and you can see clearly in Evan's Instagram post, Nolan is there. Witnesses have put out statements saying that an altercation took place between Nolan, Evan, and 2 other boys, and the boys proceeded to beat Nolan to death with a metal bar and urinate on him. And that's all those crazy. People there watched and did nothing about it. They are no better than the people that killed him. The reason that Nolan's phone pinged on the island is because they went back and they dumped his body after they killed him. These men need to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law because they murdered Nolan Wells. Nolan Wells was murdered. Say his name.
I wonder what he did to get that reaction out of him though. Like, that's just so disgusting for them to even do that, but still, like, I feel like certain things are for a reason, but I don't know like what specifically is the reason for that amount of disrespect.
I want to know, how come nobody ever talks about the Usher and Drake story? Oh, you don't know it? Because nobody talks about it. What if I told you 2 generational superstars spent half a decade on one song and then made it disappear? Let me explain. And if you love hearing music stories and deep dives you're not gonna find anywhere else, make sure you follow right now because this one is wild. The year is 2014. Usher shooting a music video with Nicki Minaj. When out of nowhere, Drake shows up. Usher pulls Drake into his car and plays Drake unreleased music. Drake wants in. There's one demo that Drake is obsessed with and refuses to let go. By the way, I've got an amazing trivia question for you coming up at the end of this video that I'll be impressed if you can get it right, so watch out for that. Drake cuts his verse and sends it back to Usher. And Usher starts telling everybody. MTV, Vibe magazine says Drake touched on some pretty personal stuff on his verse. The crazy part, Usher wasn't exaggerating because Drake's verse isn't about some girl. It's about his mom. One of the most vulnerable verses of Drake's career. Only problem, the Usher album it was meant for, scrapped. But Usher regroups and drops Hard to Love in 2016. But Drake's song doesn't make the cut. And honestly, if you know somebody who loves Drake or Usher, send them this video right now because I want to know how much of this backstory they actually knew about. For years, the song remains an afterthought. Goes nowhere. Until August 29th, 2019, when a brand new version gets finished. Reportedly in line for Confessions 2, the sequel to Usher's album from 2004 that sold over 10 million copies. Usher teased it for years, but for some reason, never released it. And if you're keeping score watching this video, that is now 2 dead albums that this song missed out on. By the way, if you love talking music and deep dives just like this, I post one every day, and if you ever want to check them out, they're all on my profile. In the years since, Usher played the Super Bowl. Drake went to war with Kendrick, and the song still just sat there until late 2024, when the full track finally leaked online. Fans called it one of the best Drake leaks of all time. Song's name, Slow Motion. And honestly, after 12 years in the vault, maybe the most fitting title for a song ever. The craziest part, right now, Usher's everywhere. Playing stadiums with Chris Brown, popping up on stage at Yankee Stadium with Jay-Z. The man is truly everywhere, except on a song with Drake. There is one more thing though. Well, 2 more things. August 11th and 12th in Toronto, Canada, when the R&B tour hits Drake's hometown. So what do you think? Does Drake hop on stage? Let's talk about it down in the comments. And now for that trivia question. Usher and Drake both worked the same job earlier in their life. Name the occupation. And no, it's not singer. Drop your guesses in the comments. If you dug this video, I'd love for you to drop it a like. For more music videos just like this one, follow for more.
All right, if you think that these forest fires that are happening in Northern Ontario right now are organic, just an act of God, then you are exactly where they want you to be. And I'm going to show you what's really going on right now. Now, first of all, as a Canadian that's been living in Ontario most of my life, this is not normal. What we've been seeing the past few years, far from normal. The first part of this agenda is they're trying to convince you that climate change is a real thing. There's a lot of other agendas that go into this, so pay attention. First, I'm going to break down how they are doing this, how they are causing these fires, and number two, why they are doing this. First of all, for many, many years since you've been born, they've been littering our skies with heavy metals. Things like barium, aluminum, strontium, graphene falling from our skies into our soil. This is not some conspiracy. Go out on your car, scrape up the dust that you see on your car in the morning and use a magnet, and you'll see that it's magnetic because heavy metals are falling from the sky. This has been patented. There's hundreds of patents on it. They've been blowing the whistle on this for many, many years. The government has come out and admitted they spray chemtrails on us. Wow. All you need to do is look up and see. What's happening is, as these heavy metals have been falling from the sky for so many years, the ground absorbs these heavy metals. The roots of the trees absorb these heavy metals. The trees then become very flammable. How do they spark this? Well, it's through directed energy weapons. Have a listen to this.
Or green or something like that. Real lasers, one of the key advantages that they provide is that they are invisible. You actually can't see them. You just see this damage suddenly starting to blow something up. So if we take a look now at what the Athena did to a truck. So we're looking at a truck engine, and the Athena within seconds was able to beam right in there, heat the whole thing up, and burn through the engine of this vehicle. So if you can imagine if you were in that vehicle, all of a sudden, this hole would start appearing in your engine.
To assess all these forest fires that were happening in the recent past in Maui and LA and all these places, and the cars melted into the ground, aluminum quite literally melting into cement. This is from directed energy weapons. Again, not a conspiracy, guys. They have these things mounted to like Boeing 747s that can hit fucking targets 60 miles away. It's a tweet from the Department of War. Yes, the Department of War has directed energy weapons. Yes, we are scaling them. No mistake, this is exactly what's happening. These psychopaths that, control this world, that control the money supply, that poison your air, food, and water, what they're doing is they're lighting up these rural areas because they're trying to push everyone into their 15-minute smart cities, a complete control grid run by AI and, smart cars or electric cars that you can't go out of the cities. It is complete and total control, and this is the agenda. And I do also want to say that no matter how evil these people are, love always wins. We will rise up. Fuck all this bullshit. Focus on the love and the peace. Peace and love.
Yeah, he's not lying. Direct energy weapons are a thing. I mean, he just showed the tweet of the government literally saying, yes, we do have those. I've seen a lot of videos on them. And yeah, like he said, majority of them are invisible. Like, you're not going to see a ray of just red coming down from the sky. Like, you won't even see it. It will just be there. There's this video that this dude actually there's a video of this dude actually showing what it looks like when he shoots a gun that has that same type of technology. And I'm going to try to put it in as well. Paw Patrol just got exposed.
Sorry, Mayor. So that's like their butt prints and the wet concrete. This is the girl and this is the boy. Like, is that necessary for a kid's show?
And you are not
definitely
alone,
not
because
necessary.
The comments also think the same thing. Here they say Paw Patrol is not allowed in our household. People don't understand how intentional that is. It's an animated show. It was intentionally drawn, put there, and also approved for publication. It is very obviously intentional. And look at the like count. Everyone agrees.
The non-consensual sexualization of children in kids shows is something that should definitely be investigated. Anybody who's participating in that, even as a joke, should be nowhere near making content for kids.
I mean, yeah, it's always been like that though. Like they're acting like stuff like this isn't new. In the music early on, they used to always talk about sexually explicit things, but they would like frame it in a way that you couldn't necessarily understand, but it was still always there. So like this is nothing different.
So this guy takes a bell and puts it in a vacuum chamber, and then he pounds this bell as hard as he possibly can, and he cannot hear a thing. Now pay very close attention to what happens when he adds air back into the...
And as we let the air in, now I think you can hear the bell quite clearly. And that's a very nice experiment to demonstrate how air is needed for the transmission of sound.
You see, what happens is sound is literally just particles vibrating through the air to get to the person hearing the sound. So if there's nothing in the air for the sound wave to pass through, then the sound wave can't travel. So sound cannot travel in a vacuum. With this being said, why don't we listen to this? So he's in the void of outer space, but you can literally hear him like clanking metal up against the ISS. How does that make any logical sense? My theory is that they are actually underwater and LARPing being in space. Why don't you listen to this clip of someone scuba diving? It sounds exactly the same, doesn't it? And funny enough, in Austin, Texas, they train astronauts underwater. They LARP being in space by being underwater in Austin, Texas. Must be a coincidence. But I made this video entirely for entertainment purposes only. Of course, sound can travel in a vacuum.
Valley is actually becoming real dark web videos now. So the whole Folk Valley videos started as a joke where people would take regular videos and make them look like they were from the dark web. But now the trend has gone way too far and people have started posting actual dark web videos. I personally don't recommend looking at Folk Valley anymore because you are going to see things that you do not want to see. And the way people are getting around posting these videos is they're inverting the colors of the videos so like the moderation doesn't pick up on it. But if you just invert the colors on your phone and then watch those videos, you're going to be scarred for life.
The Ellen Show was canceled in May 2022. 2 months later, her ex, Anne Hesh, is dead after a car crash. The coroner's report says she was unconscious from smoke inhalation at the scene, yet helicopter footage shows her sitting up, moving, and kind of fighting against being put into the ambulance. She doesn't look unconscious, which is a pretty massive contradiction. Then, 5 months after that, Twitch, her co-host, is gone at 40. One inner circle, 1 year, and a series of deaths that feel way too weird to just be a coincidence. I mean, how do you get up from being unconscious in a body bag? Doesn't make any sense.
I believe Kim Kardashian has cast a spell on Kimi Antonelli or possibly stolen his essence, and if we see him drop off in form over the next few races, it'll be because of this moment right here. Kim Kardashian's family comes from Armenia, and her great-grandparents were part of a religious sect known as the Molochans. In 1852, an illiterate 11-year-old prophet warned the Molochans that a great war was coming, and kings would shed blood like rivers, and they should all escape to, specifically, Los Angeles. Kim's great-grandparents left to Los Angeles in 1913, avoiding the Armenian genocide of 1915 and the Russian Revolution of 1917. And that's why there's so many Armenians in Los Angeles. But in traditional folklore, a sweat-stained piece of clothing is the ultimate prize for a sorcerer or a witch, as many believe hair, blood, sweat, and saliva are connected to a person's soul and contain their essence. And all you would need to curse someone or steal some of their good luck is a sweat-stained piece of clothing. And at the end of the Monaco Grand Prix, as she was walking through the crowd, Kim Kardashian slyly grabbed Kimi Antonelli's post-race towel, talked to a security guard, touched it to her face, and then walked off.
Here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh.
I think we all remember the Challenger explosion that took place in 1986. It tragically took the lives of all 7 astronauts on board. As a couple decades later, this thing called the internet came about, and someone allegedly found almost all of those astronauts alive and well, many using the same exact names. As you can see here, we have Challenger astronaut Judith Resnick and also Judith Resnick, Yale law professor. Michael J. Smith, the pilot of the Challenger astronaut, and also professor at University of Wisconsin, now retired Michael J. Smith. Commander Dick Scobie, who is now president of Cows and Trees. Now, if you'll notice, they all have the exact same faces 30 some odd years later, the same exact name. Miss Resnick was questioned at Yale by a journalist, and she panicked and ran from the camera. Why?
Conspiracy about space shuttle. No, I want to be polite.
Mr. Michael J. Smith was also questioned, and he said, yeah, we look alike, but that's not me.
Are you Michael Smith? Yeah. Are you aware of that there's a rumor on the internet that people are saying?
Yeah, it's not me, obviously. I mean, it's interesting that the Michael J. Smith that was the astronaut looks something like me when we were younger, but really not.
Yeah, you just sure look alike. It's the same
I
name.
know the facial thing, but that's what we look like. What? 40 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to believe that 3 people from one spaceflight have exact lookalikes that have the same age and same exact names.
Sir,
Mr.
I'm going to
Scobie
have
not only
to.
has-
I'm going to have to stop.
Sir, this is
you.
a public comment.
I know what it is, sir. I'm very familiar with the public comment.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Will you let me finish for at least
No,
10
sir.
seconds?
You're finished. Thank you.
Thank you for taking away my freedom of speech today in here.
I did not take away your freedom of speech.
Yes, you did.
I don't want to hear it from you
Just
people
because this
down
is an
here.
uncomfortable
Stop.
topic?
Officers, please remove this man from the room.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know why they just didn't let him finish. Like, when you do stuff like that, like someone's telling you a point, like, hey, like, this is kind of weird, and then you tell them, nah, stop, you're crazy, like, just go. Like, you know what I'm saying? It gives off a really bad vibes, like they're trying to hide something. Like, I get it does kind of sound outrageous, but it is a weird coincidence that they do have the same name, they do look pretty familiar, and they are the same exact age. You know what I'm saying? It is a coincidence. To say it's a conspiracy, I guess you could say that, but it's a little bit of too much of a coincidence. You know what I'm saying? They have the same almost everything.
So no more time changes? Are y'all hearing this shit? This can actually happen, so y'all pay attention, bruh. The House just voted to make daylight savings time permanent, meaning if this become law, you will not be able to change your clock twice a year no more. Now ask yourself this, why are they pushing this right now? I understand they've been talking about it for years, but what changed? I'm telling y'all, ever since CERN shut down, shit been going crazy. They say it's about making life easier. That's how they get people. They like, hey, you don't have to lose an hour of sleep anymore. Don't you like that? But not everybody like that, because now you got some people saying, what about the days in the winter where you wake up and it's still gonna be dark? For me, I don't mind, but I know some people do. And then it's gonna be days where kids is going to school where it's still dark outside, and some parents don't like that. But I'm just looking at it from a different perspective. I just feel like time is already flying and some weird shit is going on with our reality. And maybe this got something to do with it too. It still got to get passed through the Senate and signed by the president. But I think it's going to happen, y'all. What do y'all think? Would you keep daylight saving time completely or get rid of it completely?
To be fair, chat, I can't even really give my opinion on that, because I would have to see how it is without daylight savings time before I make an opinion on that. Because in my opinion, you know what I'm saying, daylight saving times is cool. Like, I mean, I don't know if it's cool. I personally never been affected by it. Like, I lost an hour of sleep, then I gained an hour of sleep. It's never been like, damn, like, I really wish this wasn't here. Like, it's never been too big of an issue for me. Maybe it was a bigger issue for some other people that are watching this video right now, because I don't know, maybe it's something with their work or their job or something. But I don't know. What do y'all think? Do you guys think that they should get rid of daylight savings time, or they should just keep it?
Thank you all for watching this here video.